I hope you all survived that one. Whew, I know it was rough, but let's tone it down a little bit with some fun facts about this flick.
So this movie actually only got a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, making it the worst film ever nominated for the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture. It stole that spot from the previous record holder, which was The Tourist, which sat at 20%, making this a record not likely to be broken in the near future.
Another record not likely to be broken. This was the first film ever to be nominated for the Golden Globe's Best Picture Award, while also being nominated for the Razzies Worst Picture Award.
Reminds me of Pia Zadora a little bit. She got a Raspberry and a Golden Globe for Butterfly.
Indeed. This film was never intended to be a musical. Sia was actually offered additional funding to adapt the movie into one, taking this movie from its original cost of $4 million to an elevated cost of $16 million to produce. You can decide for yourself as to whether you think it was worth it.
So apparently after casting Leslie Odom Jr., executives had warned Sia that the film would actually be considered a black movie if she cast both a black male and a female lead. Executives had warned her that biracial casting would make her movie non-commercial, leaving it without a mainstream audience, it's just so messed up. And although Sia admits to listening to some of their advice, she has also said publicly, "I just tried to listen to anybody who had experience in the business. Looking back, I guess that was a lot of white men. I'm part of the problem, not the solution. I'm learning. Next time, I'll cast whoever I want."
But, she casted whoever she wanted anyway. Leslie Odom Jr.'s in the movie.
Right, she did. She did, and I respect her for that. She did have a biracial cast.
Yeah.
And not one of our issues with the movie at all.
Right. Leslie Odom Jr., by the way, is from Hamilton. He played Aaron Burr.
Yeah, he played Aaron Burr in Hamilton, and he is wonderful in that, and you should not judge his performance here.
For that. So Sia got up the gusto to make her own movie after Chandelier, the music video she produced and directed, after it did so well, The movie was initially supposed to have Shia LaBeouf play the part of Zoo, with Maddie Ziegler co-starring, but you'll want to have a sip of water for this one.
So, Sia dropped the star for the role, and although she claims it to be because she had watched a video of Kate Hudson singing, it seems more likely due to two reasons. The second of which being the fact that Shia LaBeouf was sued for sexual battery by a different artist, and the first, Sia herself has said, and I quote, "I too have been hurt emotionally by Shia, a pathological liar who conned me into an adulterous relationship."
She originally hired some, get this, individual at a coffee bar to help her with a script. But when that didn't work out, she just decided to collaborate with her longtime friend and children's book author, Dallas Clayton.
Dallas Clayton has a distinctive style in his work, and you can see it all throughout this movie. He has a very particular way of drawing arms that he likes to use, and a lot of the Radical monsters, with the exception of the Encourager, are straight out of his imagination.
So who is that other half of the Radical monsters in the movie?
Oh, that would be Tig.
And who is Tig in relation to Dallas?
Tig, I don't know Tig's relationship to Dallas, but Tig is actually a stand-up comedian from like the 80s and 90s, and he came out as trans a long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah, I've actually watched several of his stand-up. He's funny in everything but this.
Totally. The hands by the dinner plate in the music number Insecure are of the same design as he frequently uses in his children's books, and the Radical show can actually be seen in full at the end of the credits.
The Encourager, as I believe we said before, is a real-life girl who's probably very nice, and I'm very sorry for being so mean to. She wears a costume that, I've admitted, kinda scares me. It's the large costume with all of the ribbon paper on it. And again, I'm sure she's very nice. She just stalks the night looking to feed off the self-satisfaction of others.
Like what is that, an energy vampire?
An emotional vampire.
An emotional vampire.
A well-intentioned emotional vampire. She's also worked on a few other projects with Dallas Clayton prior to this movie. Notably painting full houses in this very Pee Wee Herman 80s kind of style.
Yeah, and in alternate reality, this could also be like a Five Nights at Freddy's horror movie kind of situation.
It certainly could, yeah. Alongside that, the watermelon popsicles are apparently actually a thing, and I am looking forward to trying that. Also, I believe the reason that music likes dogs and bubblegum is because Maddie Ziegler herself likes dogs and bubblegum. This movie was actually nominated for a total of 4 Razzies and scored 3 of them.
Good for you guys.
It's also the second film in history to win all of its awards except Worst Picture.
Also, 7 is the only number from 1 to 10 with 2 syllables.
Plus, bonus fact, cats only meow to people. And while we're on the subject, hippos actually don't sweat red. Hippos actually release a thick oil emission from their pores, which is often called blood sweat, but it's not actually sweat. It is pinkish and red to color, and it serves as sort of a sunscreen protectorant for the hippo.
This film saw a rough release schedule as it saw numerous delays, eventually being released in Australia for only a few weeks before being released in select IMAX theaters in the United States, for a single evening before being pulled entirely and then released on demand 2 days later.
Sia credits Godchild Bunky as well as all of her fellow Australians in the end credits to this movie. Godchild Bunky.
Although it was scheduled for a DVD and Blu-ray release, they have both been left dead in the water.
The movie site for the movie music saw its last news update 2 weeks after the movie's US trailer's release, and we've seen no new updates on the site since.
Wow. The film now only appears to be on Amazon Prime Video.
Alright, so let's talk about some performances, shall we? Who should we start off with?
Rudy!
Okay, we will start off with Rudy. How do you feel about Rudy's performance?
So, I feel like Rudy should have shot Kate Hudson in the face, like, halfway through the movie. Like, right around the point when she lost all the money.
Right. Oh, right, to make a point. Because otherwise you're just going to have everybody walking over you.
Right, no doubt.
If Kate Hudson can walk over you like this, anybody can walk over you
right,
like
and
this.
all she does is just make this face, like, oh, what did I do?
Right. And he doesn't act gay to me. To start off, I don't have a problem with the
Wait. He's supposed to be gay?
I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be gay.
What gives you that impression?
Well, okay, so...
I mean, I get that he wears, a kimono?
Right, and he also talks with his hand a little bit, and he has a huge wig collection.
I mean, I don't know, he just reminded me of, like, his character from Parks and Rec. It's like almost an extension.
I've always assumed he's gay. My assumption is that the character was supposed to be gay, but I guess it's kind of hard to tell.
He could be just eccentric. Or European.
Who collects wigs, though? Like,
Europeans.
No, I've known...
Cosplayers!
I've known so many gay men who collect wigs. So many gay men that have collected wigs, but I also don't hang out with that many people, so that's a large percentage. Fair. That made me assume he was supposed to be gay. The idea that he is a straight cross-dresser a la the Drew Carey show and Drew's brother, because I did consider that. What if he's Drew's brother from the Drew Carey show? And I can't really see him as that role. He does seem much more effeminate than that.
Right. I don't know. I still can't get up past the Parks and Rec connection. And also, by extension of that, Stranger Things, because they're supposed to be related to Steve.
I'm also amazed he's in business. He's a bad drug dealer.
Right, he really is, though.
All of his drugs...
He should have lost money.
He should have lost money. All of his drugs was just right there in a closet.
Right.
I mean, it might be locked, but he doesn't seem to keep it locked.
Right.
Maybe he has some kind of protection around that desk, but it doesn't...
Yeah, he didn't seem to have any bodyguards either.
No, he doesn't have anybody kind of backing him up that you can tell. He seems just very on his own, doing his own thing.
Right, he's just getting his foot in the door, getting started.
Just collecting wigs and Oxycontin, as one will. All right. Does that finish us up for Rudy?
I think so.
Okay.
So next off, we have Sia as Sia. Do you want to start, Alan?
Okay, so Sia is Sia. Let's see. Sia as Sia is playing herself. Mm-hmm. I appreciate the whole avocado skin treatment thing, covering up her face, which is an aesthetic that she keeps to in the movie. So that's a little neat, I guess.
I guess. I mean, she almost kind of has like a Stephen King in the Dark Tower kind of role in this movie, where she's just there to further the plot along, but also kind of unnecessary.
I would have been down for an unnecessary cameo where you just throw her in a little bit, but here's the problem. Here's two problems with the unnecessary cameo. First off, she is buying drugs in a nonsensical
I know,
way.
and that's part of the about the scene. You're like, why is Sia buying all this drugs?
Right, and I gotta emphasize, as much as I make fun of Sia, I feel bad for doing so. I kind of feel like I'm the jerk, but honestly, who's buying painkillers to have them privately flown to Haiti?
Right?
I do really enjoy how she summons Kate Hudson over when she does the drug dealer thing. I
know, it's almost like a Swami. She's like, "Yes, servant."
How do you feel about the music number that's attached to that one? It's the one where you get to see Maddie Ziegler doing all of the different costumes with Zoo as well. It's one of the happier ones, but it also doesn't have much symbolic meaning, at least as far as we seem to be able to tell.
It was a good middle of the movie song number, right?
It's a good middle of the movie song number. It's happy. It's a little bit fun. It serves no purpose. It's there.
And honestly, the movie could have used more of that.
All right. What about Leslie Odom Jr. as Ebo?
Ebo's an interesting character. He's got a lot of layers, surprisingly.
He's got layers to him. I have some issues with Ebo.
Well, okay, to begin, he's got AIDS. And why does he have AIDS? I mean, I think the only reason why he has AIDS is for that connection between Rudy and Zoo.
I felt... it came... And this could be judgmental, me being judgmental, you know. But to me, it felt like he had AIDS because he was from Ghana. Because he was from Africa. I was super down with him being from...
That's a little, uncomfortable.
It's a little bit uncomfortable, but you thought the only reason he had AIDS was because of the zoo thing. I just couldn't help but notice the Africa thing.
I mean, he was also from a village. They do mention that in the movie. And he had his brother...
He was from a stereotypically small village that thought that his brother's mental disorder was a curse, and possibly...
It's implied, right?
It's implied that they may have killed his brother.
Right.
What's your thought?
I think they did.
And they just drop it. He's just like, my brother is dead, and we just move on.
Oh, he's dead. Yeah, he just shrugs it off.
He's just dead, and we just move on. Okay, so there's other questions, though, that I have about the AIDS thing. Mm-hmm. Since we've decided to give him AIDS, for no reason, apparently, we have other characters in the movie that are related to him. First off, we have Zoo, who seems not concerned about the AIDS. Right. He's supposed to be taking some medication, which, will help. And there was some possible condom references in one of those dance numbers, before they almost had sex when Zoo passed out. Oh, right. With the oversized pants.
it's thrown in so nonchalantly that I just forget about that when they're, like, having romantic scenes.
Right.
And it's like, Zoo should probably be a little bit more, like...
more cautious. She does say that she's not concerned about it. Okay, so there's that. That's one thing. But
well, that is a fetish.
Ebo is from Ghana. We've established that he has AIDS. He used to be married to a woman whose name we do not know, but was his ex-wife.
Right.
Who is now marrying his brother. Here's the thing: they're all older.
Does his ex-wife have AIDS?
Exactly. Does his ex-wife have AIDS? Because when did he get AIDS? That's the big elephant in the room, everyone.
And if she does have AIDS, why is she marrying the brother? Or why is the brother interested? Does the brother have AIDS?
Does the brother have AIDS too?
But it's implied that she left Ebo because he had AIDS.
Is it implied that she left Ebo?
That's what I thought.
She left Ebo for the brother.
Because I assume that the brother didn't have AIDS.
Right. But, okay, so here's the problem. If she left Ebo because of the AIDS, then that means that Ebo got AIDS while he was married to her and cheated on her.
So he did cheat on her. I mean, that would be the only other way.
I can't even possibly imagine.
He doesn't seem like a cheater.
I just have a hard time imagining that he might have actually cheated on her.
I spent most of the movie calling him Cheaty in my head. So, Cheaty from The Good Place. Like, I couldn't imagine Cheaty cheating on anybody, but...
Right.
So how can I imagine Ebo cheating on anybody?
Yeah, it doesn't vibe with his character at all.
No, it doesn't. I mean, Ebo is... See, I almost called him Cheaty there. Ebo is an emotional masochist.
Right.
He's always just kind of like, yes, I need the pain.
He is an emotional masochist.
He's got such a sad life story.
Right.
And it just keeps adding on to it. He attends his ex-wife and brother's wedding.
Which I assume are we gonna go with everybody has AIDS? Ebo, ex-wife, brother?
Everybody has AIDS. AIDS. Everybody has AIDS. AIDS.
And let's talk about that wedding scene with all of them for a second, because that's confusing to me.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so Ebo is at the wedding of his ex-wife and brother.
Mm-hmm.
We've explained that. But Zoo
just busts into the wedding with music